What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedules to rock and roll with us for the next couple of hours as we break down the latest news and rumors that surround the New York Football Giants. First off, I just want to say thank you to everybody that has tuned into our past two live streams. The show from 2 weeks ago, over 13,500 views. The show from last week, over 11,000 views. This channel continues to grow despite the season being over. And it's because of people like you that are watching right now, as we already have 97 people in the building. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. We're going to be here all off season long. Videos every day breaking down everything surrounding this football team. We're your one-stop shop. So subscribe and turn your notifications on. As my guy Cam Johnson getting us started with a $2 super chat. Cam, appreciate you. Appreciate you coming to the party early, and I appreciate you always being a real one. Says, let's get Daniels and Xavier Worthy. I know this for a fact. If you walk away with Jayden Daniels in the first round and Xavier Worthy in the second round, you have made a commitment, Joe Schoen, and organizationally, to improve the offense. And that should be step one. I think Xavier Worthy is one of the most underrated receivers in this class. I know he's a second-round guy, but he reminds me of someone, I don't want to say it. It's a little disrespectful to the player I may compare him to. He's the light version. He's the true value version, the great value version, whatever the hell that shit's called. Kind of reminds me a little Jalen Waddle. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Gives me a little Jalen Waddle vibes. Extreme athlete, the ability to take it the distance every time he touches the ball. He's just smooth, man. He moves different than a lot of other people that play in this league. I'm a big fan of Xavier Worthy. And if he is the second round pick for the New York Giants, I'm going to be happy about it. Now to Jayden Daniels. Are we willing? And it's not even we. Joe Schoen, are you willing to bet your job, your career, as an NFL GM on Jayden Daniels? Because if you draft Jayden Daniels and he is no good, and I think he will be good, let's just say Joe Schoen drafts Jayden Daniels and he's a bust. Joe Schoen will be fired and he will never be a general manager in the National Football League again. Because that means he would have missed on a quarterback in round one. That means he would have missed on an offensive tackle at pick number 7. And he would have missed on paying a quarterback in Daniel Jones $82 million. Scared money don't make money, though. Scared money does not make money. You got to risk it every once in a while. You got to act like a top dog. I'm just not so sure that's Jayden Daniels for me. The more and more I watch the tape, it is apparent how special of a player and how special of a talent he is. But I also want this next quarterback to be a blue chip prospect. And I'm not so sure that is Jayden Daniels. I'm not so sure it's not. It could be. It very well could be. Probably talking in circles at this point. I'm all in on Joe Alt in the first round, though. That's who I want. I want Joe Alt. I think you build from the inside out. You build from the inside out. I'm taking Joe Alt in round 1. That's my pick. Give me Joe Alt and Xavier Worthy. I'm cool with that. One more year of Daniel Jones. Kind of come to the agreement on that, or the understanding of that. But I don't know if I want Jayden Daniels. I don't. I know I said I do. I'm a little nervous. Vibes coming in with a $20 super chat. Hey, yo. What up, man? Appreciate you for coming out, showing up. My guy never misses the show. We appreciate you. Thanks for being a real one. If you got a question, brother, let me know. I actually don't think we got to hit this first 7. On the board, it says nah for live. Vibes, appreciate you always being a real one. Always hanging with the squad. If you got a question or something, let me know, bro. Would love to just chop it up back and forth with you. Patrick Seatman. Am I being mean to Jayden Daniels?
No, I mean, I think Daniels is a guy where it comes down to wherever he goes. Like, he's got the talent's there, but I don't think he's a guy where it's like Trevor Lawrence, where he's going to the Jags and he's turning that around, or, Burrow with, the Bengals. I think he's going to have to get a, solid support system with the Giants offensive line where it's at right now. I'd probably be against Daniels in round 1. That's just kind of how I stand.
I think he may have the second highest ceiling in this class among quarterbacks. But I
Yeah.
also think he has the biggest bust factor.
Definitely.
And
But kind of like what you're saying, if you think that's your guy,
if you think he's your guy, go get him.
go for it. But again, Dable and Shane, they might not be a GM or head coach combo in the league anymore if they,
Joe
swing and
Schoen will
miss.
never work in another NFL front office as the top dog if he picks Jayden Daniels and he's a bust. You pick Jayden Daniels and he's the first sure thing, you're going to be inducted into the Giants' Ring of Honor.
Yep.
As Big Dave says, no risk it, no biscuit.
See, I would rather have the Giants take Alt at 6 and then maybe trade your 2 seconds into a late first round to go get my man McCarthy. That's what I would do. If you walk away and you're like, oh, we just took Alt at 6 and McCarthy at 21 or whatever, you are feeling. But then again, McCarthy's a guy sitting behind Jones for a year, and also I was kind of talking about this on our Viking show. You look at what the Packers done. I don't think it's bad. Honestly, sitting a quarterback for the year might be the way to go.
I am ashamed to say that J.J. McCarthy is growing on me.
Thank you.
I am ashamed to admit it. I have moved. I will update my QB rankings this week. Last week I had him at 4A and Michael Penix at 4B. But there's no more A and there's no more B for me. J.J. McCarthy is 4 and Michael Penix is 5.
I'm not out on Penix.
That's my take right now. That's where I'm at. A lot can change.
He just reminds me of Hendon Hooker. He's got the concerns medically.
The fact that Gabriel Nektalov is against J.J. McCarthy makes me feel so much better. This person responds to every single one of my tweets, hating and begging for attention, but then joins the live show. And I don't remember a take that they were right on. So I feel better about that.
I want to a system quarterback. That is the thing with J.J. Everybody loves just tossing that around. Michigan did not have any good guys on the outside. I promise you, J.J. was a 5-star coming out of high school. He has a 5-star arm. He has blue chip.
I'm not taking him round 1 unless I'm trading into the back 5, 6, 7 picks.
And I don't disagree with that at all. It's probably what I would do, but.
Pokey Moore says, don't worry, Marsh will change his mind next week. He changed his mind like his Dre. I don't know what that means, but hey, I think it would be irresponsible for me to make a take and then not adjust it.
If you make a take in freaking December, you should update it. Justin Fields, I don't know about Fields, y'all.
I got to change my draw. Pokey Moore, that's hilarious. I don't know. He's growing on me a little bit.
Yeah. I like him,
I think
dude.
you said it. Sometimes you just get that feeling that guy's got it.
He's got it, man.
He's got it. I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
Plus, he's 3 classes behind Daniels and Penix. You told me in 2-3 years, him in an NFL weight training program, all that,
I don't know. As Chris Blades comes in with a $2 super chat. Trade Barkley for Diggs and grab Jayden Daniels.
It's going to be hard to trade for Diggs.
The Bills would be in cap hell if they traded Stephon Diggs.
I don't hate it. Face value. Bills get and also the Bills.
Do we want Stephon Diggs? Seems like a crybaby,
everywhere
selfish
he's gone.
player.
He got sick of Minnesota because they kept losing in the first round and he wasn't getting, the ball enough. Kind of similar to what's going on in Buffalo right now.
Once again, decline to speak to the media.
Yeah. And plus, if you're Diggs, or if you want a guy like Diggs, the dude's got everything not handed to him in Buffalo. He's got a top 3 quarterback undisputed. He's an undisputed number 1 option. He's on a team that's going to contend for the next 5 years, and he continues to find problems no matter where he's at. I don't like those guys.
Diggs. I'm also kind of good on an aging receiver.
True.
I think this team needs young legs. New blood. Are we a top receiver away from competing in this league? No. So build the right way. Chris Blade says grab Jayden Daniels. Hey, I ain't going to be mad at anyone that says grab Jayden Daniels. I still believe he's going to be a good player. I'm kind of just nervous on drafting a QB because if you don't, it will set you back.
Yeah.
And I almost want to be 100% sure he's that guy.
And if the Giants were in a position of the Rams, at 6, oh my God, give me Jayden Daniels any day of the week.
Yeah. as Tee Higgins Detailing coming in with $2 super chat. What up, Brody? Arch Manning will be our answer. Can we see Arch Manning play a college football season?
Yeah, got the right last name for the Giants.
He does. That Manning jersey would sell pretty well.
Do you think would he wear 10?
Well, it's retired. Do you think Eli would let him wear it?
Yeah, could you imagine how sweet that would be? You guys get to dust
Manning.
off all the Manning jerseys.
Guy, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong. Guy Allegretto says, I want to make a donation to the site. How do I go about it? Marshall is the man. Thank you for the very kind words. If you're in the comment section, there's a button that has looks like a rectangle with a $sign in it. You click it, you slide to the amount that you want it to go to, the little scrolly ball, or you could type it in, I believe, and you get to type in a question as well. If you would like to support the channel, I greatly appreciate it. It is not a requirement, but I appreciate all the love. All the support and super chats that go to this channel, they go back into this channel. That's the way we built it. That way, however much you guys want the product and you support it, we'll get it back to you. That's why we're able to go live once a week in the off season. That's why we're able to put out multiple videos every single day and put out 7 to 10 videos a week on this channel. And that's why we're almost at 50,000 subscribers. You invest in this channel, it goes right back to the channel. So we appreciate you. Johnson, how do I support the channel? Scroll back 5 seconds. I think you might have heard it. As Ryan Brogan says, I'm taking Knicks over McCarthy and Penix any day.
You're out of your mind if you're taking Knicks over McCarthy. Again, you can make an argument for Penix, no doubt. I really like JJ.
Why do you like JJ so much?
Intangibles, man. He wins at every level. There's something about those guys where it's just no matter what the situation is, he has figured it out throughout his career. He's had great coaching throughout his career too. It's also JJ's a guy. You take him in the first round, people are going to be pissed.
I think he's got chips on his shoulder too.
He does, because he's hearing all this. I was a 5. I don't know, man. I'm sure JJ views a guy like Jayden Daniels. He's like, okay, I hear all of it. Vasquez. Vasquez, give me some, dog.
Nothing, no other reasons why you like JJ McCarthy so much?
He went to my high school. Went to the same high school, as Julian Love. Same high school as Julian Love, so.
All right. I'm not taking him at 6, though.
No, you can't take him at 6.
I'm not taking him at 6. As Jaquicks coming in with a $5 super chat. We appreciate you, my man. What's up? Do you think we will sign Hollywood Brown in free agency? If so, what are you paying for him? I have no interest in signing Hollywood Brown. You have Hollywood Brown. His name is Jalen Hyatt. You have Hollywood Brown at home. His name is Jalen Hyatt. You also have another small receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. I am personally not interested in signing Hollywood Brown. You have your deep threat in Hyatt. If a receiver by the name of Calvin Ridley enters free agency and is not franchise tagged by the Jacksonville Jaguars, he is my receiver of choice.
Yeah.
He is. Anytime Joe Schoen has talked about what type of receiver he wants on this football team, it is Calvin Ridley. The ability to line up outside, the ability to line up in the slot, the ability to create separation on short, intermediate, and deep routes from anywhere of those spots, as well as he is a generator with the football in his hands, meaning he can catch the ball, get north and south. Yeah. He's got wiggle. He can make a guy miss. One of the best route runners in the NFL. Had a little bit of a drop problem this year. Not going to worry about that. He missed a year. He came back. If he enters free agency as my number 1 free agent target for the Giants at wide receiver.
It was more like a year and a half because he got suspended. I think it was the 5th game of that season before. I mean, he took a legit 20 months off of football.
He's good, man.
And also the number 1 thing you said, what's the number 1 attribute you want in a receiver? Separation.
I am over the big, tall, strong body catchers, hand catchers, and coverage.
Yeah.
Separation. That's what I want. Calvin Ridley, he creates a lot of separation, my man. Not interested in Hollywood Brown. You have him at home and Jalen Hyatt. I'm good on that. Guy says McCarthy is not growing on me. Hey, we don't have to agree, and that's okay, and that's what's beautiful about this show. If everyone agreed with everything I said at all times, 1, I'm not that smart. 2, that means I need to change my takes. 3, I will update my takes. Guy, I understand your concerns with J.J. McCarthy, but sometimes some guys just got it. And when I spoke to him when he was an 18-year-old and I covered him in high school football, he's different. Gabby, because you're just kind of an asshole. Kind of a D-bag. Kind of what it is. Let's go Giants. Says, what if we draft Joe Alt and get a weapon for Daniel Jones and we get a pass rusher next to Kayvon like Danielle Hunter and get Cooper Beebe, and Xavier Worthy in round 2? What if we draft Joe Alt and get a weapon for Daniel Jones and we get a pass rusher?
So if you go Alt, Ridley, you can't probably get Ridley.
I don't think you can get Ridley and Danielle Hunter.
See, I would almost, if you had to pick one, weapon or Hunter, I'm going Hunter. Because I kind of trust in the development of some of these Giants receivers. Like realistically, was receiver up there as the biggest issue this season for the Giants?
I agree. I would go Danielle Hunter over a top receiver as well.
Because if you roll out, let's say you want to bring back Slayton, you don't cut him, you go Slayton, Hodgins, Hyatt, and Robinson. It's not a bad group. Do you still lack one? 100%. But I don't think it's a bad group.
If you can get Danielle Hunter, love that. But I don't think that he is being let out of Minnesota.
Could be his choice.
Yeah, it is his choice. They
choice,
cannot
though.
franchise tag him.
Yeah.
I love me some Cooper Beebe, and I love me some Xavier Worthy as well. Let's go Giants. I absolutely do. As Vibes is coming back with another $20 super chat. My man, we appreciate you. You've been an all-star all year long. It means a lot to me. Thank you, Brody. I'll defend DJ until the day I die, but I can't ignore the fact that he gets injured too much. We need a new QB, but what do you think, Marsh? I am never going to we have an emotional attachment to Daniel Jones. We do. He was ours. We drafted him. Top 10. He took Eli Manning's spot. He got you to a playoff game. He won a playoff game for you. But the contract was a mistake. And we are now paying the price for it. And I've kind of learned in my life there is no need to double down on a bad decision. Don't let your spitefulness, your ego, and your pride in wanting to prove that you were the smartest in the room by that take and stand on it and run it back instead of moving on, admitting you're wrong, and move on.
And I always look back at the Arizona Cardinals, drafted Josh Rosen the year before, had the number 1 overall pick the next year. They knew Kyler was way better. They said, we were wrong with Rosen. Let's just rip that Band-Aid off and move on. And it was a great decision for Arizona.
I think Daniel Jones is a good football player. I think he has talent. But Vibes, like you said, one of my top concerns for him is durability. He's had a neck injury that has cost him to miss 8+ games in his career. He now has a torn ACL. Sometimes the best ability is availability. The 49ers, maybe the best run organization in the NFL. They drafted Trey Lance 2 or 3?
3, but they traded 3
Traded
first.
a haul to go and get him, and they didn't even need to see a full year of him starting.
Traded him for a 3rd.
Traded him for a 3rd.
Also, wild that the Cowboys, still that trade, kind of look at it a little weird.
I would move on from Jones, but I understand why anyone would say give him one more year. It is true you got Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant, no doubt about it, but you still had the stones to play Purdy over a healthy him. You still saw him practice who was better. Who's to say we can't draft our Brock Purdy?
Spencer Rattler.
Also, who's to say Brock Purdy did he look like a franchise QB to you guys in that game? Because I don't think he did.
For the people who thought Purdy, that game-winning drive, he's a bunch of checkdowns on the game-winning drive, dude.
As Rob Rodriguez, Rob Rodriguez in the building. Drop those double R's in the chat. The godfather of New York Giants now by Chat Sports. When you see Bobby Alexander or you see Rob Rodriguez in the building, I need you to drop a double R. He is the GOAT. We appreciate you, brother. Trade up to number 1. We are awfully a lot alike, Mr. Rob Rodriguez. We are awfully a lot alike. Franchise QBs are not falling from the sky often. Trade Barkley and Jones for another weapon and go back to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Love me some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Days of Brandon Jacobs, Ahmad Bradshaw, Derek Ward. The Giants have always been a team that has won in the trenches on both sides of the ball by running the football and getting after the other team. I said it on last week's show, Rob Rodriguez. I'm doubling down today. I am doing whatever it takes to trade up to number 1 to get Caleb Williams.
Yep.
When you identify a player as a franchise quarterback, as a organizational changer, as someone that can come in and elevate your franchise the way that I believe Caleb Williams can, and you need a quarterback, you go and get him. And you do whatever it takes. If it means you have to trade a good young player, like, there's only 2 assets I would not trade for Caleb Williams. It is Andrew Thomas, and it is Dexter Lawrence. Everyone else on this roster is available for that trade, in my opinion.
Throw him Kayvon Thibodeau in there, like, Giants could have a great offer.
Hell yeah, you can put a great offer in. You've got 4 top 70 picks this year. You have 2 in the second round. You own pick 6. And you've got some young players that the Bears will be interested in. I'm doing whatever it takes, Rob, to go up and get him. I think he's special. I really, really do. I watched that game yesterday, and this will go to Vibe's question as well. We watched that game yesterday between the Bills and the Chiefs. It takes an elite quarterback if you don't have elite talent everywhere else.
You see, also watching that game, I felt like I was watching the 2 best teams in the league.
Is Daniel Jones ever competing in a game like that? You need that guy. Caleb Williams can compete in a game like that. I also think that Brian Dable, I just saw Nope's comments, and I've been sitting on this take for a while. I think Brian Dable and Caleb Williams would be a good marriage. 2 guys right now that a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about. We saw Brian Dable and Josh Allen not only become a good duo, but damn near best friends. And I think Brian Dable needs someone he can hug his arm around at the quarterback position and invest and go all in. That's what I'm doing. Rob Rod, salute. We love you, brother. We love you, man. Kenya, appreciate the super chat and supporting the channel. Who do you expect to be the next defensive coordinator? I'm still keeping my eye out on Leslie Frazier. I know that he has not been interviewed as the Giants DC, but he's kind of going around the head coaching interview carousel. And he was a finalist to be the head coach for this ball club prior to Brian Dable being hired. If I had to choose probably the 2 most likely guys, there are 2 guys that have not even been interviewed yet. Sean Desai of the Philadelphia Eagles, former finalist to be the DC, went before Wink Martindale got the job, and then Leslie Frazier, former head coach finalist before Brian Dable got the job. Also the relationship between Dable and Frazier dating back to Buffalo. If I had to choose one of the guys that has been interviewed that I think will get the job, give me Denard Wilson, the defensive back coach for the Baltimore Ravens, and as well as the pass game coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think those are the top 3 guys right there. Johnson, what up, brother? What do you think about getting Josh Allen? Was second in the league in sacks. Great linebacker that threw over 4,000 yards, top 5. All right, if we're talking about Josh Allen, the edge rusher, I would like him. What's the price difference between Josh Allen and Daniil Hunter?
Probably similar, right?
Similar? If it's similar, I'm taking Daniil Hunter all day.
Yeah, me too. It's definitely a little more just because I think Allen's probably got 3 years on him, I think.
You know another reason I would love Daniil Hunter, Patrick Seatman?
I don't know. Yeah, Andre Patterson.
Andre Patterson.
I will say, he made Hunter.
Andre Patterson gets his guy, Daniil Hunter, to the... Is he a Giant?
Yeah, I kind of just had that realization. Dude, because he loves, like...
Everyone loves Dre Patterson.
Everybody loves Dre.
I love Andre Patterson. Kayvon Thibodeau, Daniil Hunter, coming off the edge. Azeez
Dexter
Ojulari,
Lawrence up the middle.
Ojulari and Dexter Lawrence.
That is Giants football.
I'd be cool with Josh Allen, but if I'm aiming up big-time money for an edge rusher, it is Daniil Hunter. And I'll also say this. We've kind of seen a theme, and I'm kind of talking myself into this on the spot. This isn't a thought-out take by me. we all know that the Giants have had a history since Brian Dable and Joe Schoen have got here to bring in players that they know. if they're going to pay somebody, a pass position coach or somebody has worked with them.
And plus,
Patterson's
going to pound the table for him. He's gonna be like,
pound that table.
This is one of the best edges in the league. I still think, dude, Daniel Hunter, I think it was second in sacks he ended up. He was second in TFLs. He was one in pressures. Like, Hunter's the real freaking deal, man.
Give me Daniel Hunter.
Fastest player with 50 sacks in NFL history.
Give me Daniel Hunter. As John Giants coming in says, trade to 3. Get Daniels or Marvin Harrison. Can I get a shout out? Shout out to John Giants. We appreciate you for coming in. That is true, Corinne. It is true. If I'm trading up, I'm only trading up to 1 or 2 to get Caleb Williams or Drake May. I don't think that any of the other quarterbacks are worth trading up for. I know Daniels. I'm high on Daniels. I like him. I think he's going to be a good pro. I'm not trading up for him. KCD says, LOL, look at the wide receivers Daniel had to throw to also. Yeah, Joe Burrow got to throw to Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, so probably shouldn't have drafted him. I'm not trading up unless it's for a quarterback. I'm not. Back again, John Giants. Mike Zimmer for DC. Still Dre Patterson. We need that on a shirt. Still Dre Patterson. Still Dre. I still would love to see Mike Zimmer for DC, man. If I'm just talking about who Marshall Green wants to be the next defensive coordinator, yeah, I do want it to be Mike Zimmer. But to my knowledge, there's been no contact, there's been no interview, and there may not be all that much interest there. It almost feels like Patrick Seaman and this may be totally off base, and maybe even unfair for me to say this. I feel like the Giants are interviewing defensive coordinators that Brian Dable can hold power over.
Yeah, I don't know if he can hold power over.
That's the point. Talk about the guys they've interviewed. Which one? None of them have been DCs for an extended period of time.
No.
I could be totally wrong there. Still Dre Patterson. That was lit. Would love for Patterson to be the defensive coordinator of this team. Absolutely would. As Vibes is back again with a $20 super chat. Vibes, we appreciate you. I don't think Pats or Commanders are trading a possible franchise guy. Yeah, I think the only way that you could trade up is with the Chicago Bears. And according to our host of Chicago Bears Now, the largest Bears YouTube channel in the world, believes that they are going to take him.
Yeah.
So it kind of sounds like maybe the dream is dead. For the Bears to trade down, they have to say they don't want Caleb Williams. I'm doing whatever it takes, though.
Yeah.
I'm doing whatever it takes.
You're not going to be sweating over those first-round picks
Nope.
Next season that you give up.
Long way to go. There is that rumor out there that I told you guys about that I heard that Joe Schoen and Ryan Poles have talked about a trade. Don't know how much validity to it, but just something that came across my desk. Wanted to share that with you guys. I'd do whatever it takes because I have identified him as a franchise-changing quarterback. And once you get one of those guys, you can compete in this league. What did the Texans do? They got their head coach. They got their quarterback. And they were competing to go to the AFC title game 2 days ago. Just like C.J. Stroud wouldn't win with the Texans. Just like Joe Burrow wouldn't win with the Bengals. It all sounds good on paper, but you don't actually believe that. All righty. Segments on today's show. We've got a new 2-round mock draft from Dane Brugler of The Athletic. You guys know that I am a massive fan of Dane Brugler. I think he is the #1 draft analyst and scout in the game. Also, we are going to go over some 2024 free agent targets. Guys, I would like to see the Giants target in free agency. And then we're going to talk about Mike Evans. Because Bleacher Report listed Mike Evans and the Giants as an ideal free agency destination. So we'll bring that up. John Giant says, I have a t-shirt company. So John Giants, send me a DM on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. If you don't have Twitter, send me an email, marshall@chatsports.com, and let's talk about it, John. Follow me on Twitter or send me an email, and let's talk about it. Still Dre. Still Dre.
Still Dre.
All righty. 2-round mock draft. Let's get into it. What up, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. It is mock draft season for the New York Giants, and we've got another one coming at you from, in my opinion, the #1 draft analyst and guru that works in the media. His name is Dane Brugler of The Athletic. He does awesome work. He comes out with pretty much an encyclopedia of every year for the NFL draft. It is called The Beast. You should check it out. I've learned a lot from it, and I can't wait for this year. He went through a 2-round mock draft. Giants have 3 picks in the top 2 rounds. Let's see who he had the Giants taking. Well, #1 overall, he had Caleb Williams going to the Chicago Bears. No shocker there. I think Caleb Williams is going to be the best quarterback out of this class. I think he's going to be a superstar. And if I'm the Giants, I would do whatever it takes to get up to that spot. #2 overall, he has the Washington Commanders selecting the North Carolina quarterback, Drake May. I am a big fan of Drake May as well. I'm not against trading up for him either, but I don't think that #2 is a spot that Washington will trade out of. Maybe they trade up to 1, they flip-flop with the Bears, and then maybe the Bears trade out again with the Giants. Don't know how likely that is. But with #3 overall, the quarterback-needy New England Patriots bypass selecting Jayden Daniels. And according to Brugler, they are selecting Marvin Harrison Jr., MHJ. He is going to walk into the NFL and be a top 15 receiver. The dude is special, almost like his dad is a Hall of Famer. Malik Neighbors, kind of early for him. We've seen Malik Neighbors go #6 overall to the New York Giants, but Brugler has him going #4 to the Arizona Cardinals. And then #5, the Los Angeles Chargers select tight end out of Georgia, Brock Bowers. Soap, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, and Brock Bowers. Let's do this. If the draft fell out like this, if both top quarterbacks were gone, both top receivers were gone, and the best tight end was gone, who would you pick in this spot? Is it Jayden Daniels, the quarterback at LSU? Is it Joe Alt, the left tackle out of Notre Dame? Or is it Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington? If the board fell the way it did in this mock draft, who would you take at pick #6? Let me know. For me, I'm going to continue to beat the drum that I've been beating the last couple of weeks. In this spot, if it fell out like this, I would select Joe Alt, #6 overall. He fills the biggest need, and he's the best player in the draft at that position. I don't think you can win in this league until you fortify the offensive line if you're the Giants. You have to invest in that. I would go with Joe Alt. Dane Brugler, though, he went with Rome Odunze, wide receiver out of Washington. This is now the 2nd draft analyst that has mocked the Giants to Rome Odunze at pick #6. Last week it was Mel Kiper. This week it is Dane Brugler. This is what he said about the receiver. Quote, with his speed, his size, and his profile and ability to play through contact, Odunze is a quarterback-friendly target with the tools to be a legitimate #1 option. The Giants haven't had a 1,000-yard receiver since 2018, but Odunze might change that as a rookie. I know there will be plenty of why not a quarterback questions, though I think a player like Jayden Daniels is possible. Drafting a quarterback in the top 10 is an ownership decision, and we know Giants ownership loves Daniel Jones. General manager Joe Schoen has been on the road this fall to see all of the top quarterbacks, but I'll go with the QB-friendly target as the answer to the team's passing woes. So we'll talk about Odunze in a second, but are we ready to go all in on Jayden Daniels? It's not so much about me. The question is for you, Joe Schoen. Are you ready to put your job and your career as an NFL general manager on the line for Jayden Daniels, who I think is going to be a good quarterback in this league? Because if you miss on Daniels, and you missed on Evan Neal, and you missed on the contract for Daniel Jones, you will never be a general manager again in this league. I think Daniels is a good quarterback. I don't know if he's the guy that I'm falling in love with at pick 6. I love it. I like him. I like him a lot. I think he's good. I don't know if I want to take him at pick number 6. Let's talk about Odunze, though, who Dane Brugler had going to the Giants at pick 6. Rome Odunze, he was special all year long for Washington. Coming in at 6'3", 215 pounds. When you talk about creating a wide receiver to play on the outside along the boundary and stretch the field vertically, Rome Odunze is that guy. He could push it downfield. I feel like he creates good separation. 92 grabs this year for almost 1,700 yards, 13 touchdowns, and the size of a legit outside threat at 6'3", 215 pounds. And he wasn't just good this past year for Washington. He was good last year as well. In 2022, he had 92, or in the last 2 years, he has 92 grabs. This year, 92 grabs, 40 yards, 18 yards per catch, and 13 touchdowns. Last year in 2022, 75 grabs for 1,100-plus yards, 15-plus yards per catch, and 7 TDs. Those stats are just flipped. It's where it says 2022, that should say 2023, and where it says 2023, it should say 2022. I like Rome Odunze, but for me, I would take Joe Alt in this situation. I just don't believe that you could ever take wide receiver 3 over offensive tackle 1 when you have the worst offensive line in the National Football League and you gave up 85 sacks. I would take Joe Alt there over Odunze. Coming up next, we'll go through the 2 picks that Dane Brugler had for the Giants as they picked in the second round 2 times, thanks to the Leonard Williams trade. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in North America. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and they'll match your initial deposit up to $100. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stats. I'm a big fan. It's going to be a lot of fun playing Prize Picks for the NFL championship games this weekend. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. They also have options for the NBA and so much more. Check them out. That link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. So, Giants are on the clock once again at pick number 39, and Dane Brugler had them selecting Braylon Trice, the edge rusher, out of Washington with pick number 39. And look, the Giants, they need more edge rushers, man. All you really got at this point is Kayvon Thibodeau. Azeez Ojulari has proven that his availability is always in question. Trice this year for Washington had 49 tackles for 7 sacks, 1 forced fumble, comes in at 6'4", about 275 pounds. He could be your hand in the dirt, 4-3 edge, and I also think he could be a stand-up pass rusher in a 3-4 scheme. This is what Dane Brugler had to say about him. Quote, the Giants finished bottom 5 in several pass rushing metrics, including sacks. Although he isn't expected to test off the charts, Trice is an easy player to like because of his skilled, powerful hands and athletic urgency to quickly deconstruct blocks. We'll take a look at Trice's stats the last 2 years in Washington, but you need more edge rushers because you only got one on this team that I trust right now. And I know in my 29 years of rooting for this football team, the Giants are at their best when they're getting after the quarterback. And simply put, there's not enough talent in this position group between Thibodeau, Ojulari, Boogie Basham, and Ryder Anderson. Trice was really, really good the last 2 years for Washington. Over 146 pressures the last 2 years. That's pretty freaking good. 32 QB hits, 16 sacks. The dude's good. And he's a freight train coming off the edge. The Giants, they need to get more better in the trenches. They just simply need more talent there. Whether that's Trice, whether that's somebody else, the Giants have to acknowledge and put assets into the edge department. It can't just be Kayvon Thibodeau because we've seen that teams will tear us apart if we let them sit in that pocket cleanly. And I'm not trying to do that anymore. With the second pick in the second round for the Giants, pick number 47 that comes from the Leonard Williams trade, Brugler has the Giants selecting safety Javon Bullard, the Bulldog, out of Georgia. And a safety pick could make a lot of sense, and that's what Brugler talked about. With Xavier McKinney set to hit free agency, the Giants could be in the market for safety help. Bullard might not be a top tester, but he plays with range and made his presence known in the run game on every tape I studied. I just like the physicality that this dude plays with. He can line up in the slot. He could be your big nickel. I've seen him walk into the box, and he can get after the quarterback a little bit. 5'11", 200 pounds, 195 pounds. Not worried about the size, but that dude brings his hat. every single play, and he's an underrated coverage guy as well. When you watch the tape of Bullard, and when I watched every game for Georgia this year, the dude pops off the screen. He can play in the slot. He can play up high. He could be your big nickel. He could be a third safety on the field. He plays everywhere, and he's good, man. Last 2 years, 4 interceptions. He had 5 pass breakups this year, 3 pass breakups last year. The dude is a really good athlete. He fills a position of need, and I'm always cool with taking a guy from Georgia to play on my defense. Bullard just plays with his hair on fire, man. I think he's a little bit better version of him. I think he covers better, but it kind of gives me a little bit of like Jalen Petrie vibes a little bit, where he plays bigger than his size is, and he gets downhill. He's not afraid to hit somebody, not afraid to get in the mix. Remember that play when Georgia beat Ohio State in the playoff and C.J. Stroud went crazy? There was a throw to the back line of the end zone where Marvin Harrison goes up to jump and tries to toe tap it, and Bullard just comes and knocks the piss out of him. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for hitters on this defense because I am tired of watching Josh Dobbs run through Xavier McKinney. You want big-time money? You couldn't even tackle the astronaut, Xavier McKinney. If he's gone, Bullard would be a guy that I would definitely keep my eye on. So in round 1, Rome Odunze was the pick for Dane Brugler. At the first spot in round 2, it was Braylon Trice, the edge rusher, and he ended the first 2-round mock draft with Javon Bullard. I want you now to grade his mock draft for me. This is not my mock draft. This is Dane Brugler's mock draft. Works for The Athletic. He's the best in the biz. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. For me, this is a C+. I thought the players the Giants got are going to be good football players. I think Odunze will be good. I think Braylon Trice will be good. And I think Bullard, will be good as well. But you didn't address the biggest need on this team, the offensive line. 85 sacks last year. If you come out of the first 2 rounds, 3 selections, without an offensive lineman, what are you doing? You need to draft an offensive lineman. I like the addition of an edge. You need another edge. I like the addition of a safety, but I kind of like Dane Belton, and I kind of like Jason Pinnock. And I think I'd rather use a 4th-round pick on a safety. You have to walk away with an offensive lineman within the first 3 picks. As always, just want to say thank you and appreciate you for tuning in. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon on your way out. I just think the offensive line need, Patrick Seaman, is too big to bypass in those first 3 picks, man. I really do.
Yeah, maybe he's saying, hey, there's a lot of good interior offensive linemen on the market this year. We'll go there, but I feel like this is something where it's kind of like good draft, got good players. Just all right. It's an all right draft.
I think all 3 of these guys are good.
Yeah, good players, but I think in this draft, it's a lot of BPA, not drafting for need.
Yeah, I can't take wide receiver 3 over offensive tackle 1.
No. And maybe I think a lot of these guys, when they're looking at the Giants, maybe they're just thinking they're not taking a tackle. Like, there's no way they take a tackle.
I don't know why that would ever be a thought.
Yeah.
You gave up 85 sacks last year.
Yep.
How do you not use your best asset in the 6th pick to fix it? I've seen 2 seasons of Evan Neal. I don't need to see a 3rd. I don't. We did have a couple of super chats come in. We appreciate you. Shout out to William Lano in the chat. Shout out to Mr. Rick in the chat. He says the Giants ticket renewal invoice is out. The Giants have 9 regular season home games and increased the parking pass by 25% and increased ticket prices by 15%.
It's a joke. Are they cooking something up?
The audacity of that football team to ask for more money from its diehard fans like Mr. Cha after putting on a bullshit product on the football field is a joke. Yeah. Tickets should be free next year. Tickets should be free.
Saying Giants cutting into my super chat fund.
That's a problem. Do I need to go talk to them? What's that one guy that watches this show that didn't like what I said about DeAndre Hopkins? What was his name? Do I need to go talk to him? I got his email.
Oh, yeah.
William Lano, blue chip quarterback, is more valuable than blue chip O-line, especially with how bad our luck development has been with the O-line. Agreed.
True, Mr. Rick. Imagine what the prices would be if they had a good team.
Y'all don't want to draft an O-line because you missed one time on Evan Neal?
Yeah.
the odds would actually be in your favor that the next time you draft an O-line, he would be good.
It's got to work.
The odds simply say it would be good. And the odds at the time, we told you at the channel, only one of these guys is probably going to be good between Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. There's Jimmy Corleone just supporting my boy Marsh. What's good? Shout out to Jimmy. And if we can, I think we need to go Joe Alt or trade up for MHJ. Give me Joe Alt. Offensive line. Trenches. Winning the line of scrimmage. The core fundamentals of football. Giants don't do that on either side of the ball right now. Mike G, $10 super chat. We appreciate you. MG. What's up, brother? Would you say edge rusher is more of a need than wide receiver? Knowing O-line is the top need. If so, what is your edge rusher you want in the free agency of the draft? I would say that edge rusher is a bigger need than wide receiver. Who is your edge rusher you want in free agency? I'd love to have Danielle Hunter. I would love to have Danielle Hunter of the Minnesota Vikings.
Dude, the more I think about it, I think if it's not the Vikings, I think it's the Giants.
Are the Giants paying 4 years, $100 million for Danielle Hunter? So that's what's going to cost probably at minimum.
Plus he's 29. It said 2 season-ending surgeries. One was on his neck. I would still give it for Hunter though. I mean, listen, Danielle Hunter, I still think he's the most underrated edge in total in the league.
He's really good, man. And he's good against the run, too.
Very good against the run.
And the Giants need an edge setter in the game.
Nobody sets edge better than Danielle, man. Also, you look up a picture of him, he looks like he's been on juice since he's been in 7th grade.
I hope he has. Let's go Giants! Coming in with a $5 super chat. We draft Joe Alt and move Evan Neal to right guard, and Evan Neal is a badass guard. From your lips to God's ears. Please! I don't ask for much.
Could you imagine if Evan Neal works out at guard and you get Joe Alt, got the 2 tackles, got the guard, got the center, put whoever you else want it.
Chad makes a good point. Says Joe Alt is a left tackle. Can he adjust to right tackle? I think he can.
His dad
was a 15-year vet. This dude's been practicing pass sets from both sides of the line of scrimmage since he was 8 years old. It'll definitely be a little bit of a worry, but
dropping that right hip compared to the left hip, but
Rob Jigga says, Marshall, who was yelling in the background? It's the Raiders report. They just got a $500 super chat. You know what we would do for a $500 super chat? I think we may do some crazy stuff. Way cooler than that. That's all I know. A little bit worried, yeah, that he has to switch to right tackle, but
it's not holding me up.
Not holding me up. As the Bronx boy, my man, you motherfucker. You guys nailed it. You nailed it. We need to cut our losses with the early first-round mistake we made. Buy Neal, hello Alt, then fix playmaker at edge. DJ will be fine in 2024, or draft your boy Rattler. Who did their homework last week?
Exactly.
Did you do your homework last week? Y for yes, N for no. Who did their homework last week? Type Y for yes, type N for no.
I think we're going to need a poor participation rate.
I'm a little upset that I don't think a lot of people did their homework.
I don't think they did either.
Let's Go Giants says they did their homework. What'd you think? Time in the Buckeye, what'd you think? Michael Cook, what'd you think? Nope, says I got school homework to deal with.
That's fine. We'll be your
William Lano says, bro, stop with Rattler. He's trash. He's not trash, though.
He's not. He's got a top 50 arm in the world.
He's not trash. He's not trash. Is he a douche? Is he a bad person? Is he a bad leader? Sure. But you cannot tell me that dude is trash.
Yeah.
You know who's trash is Daniel Jones. Yeah, I never said he was the best. There's a reason I said 4th or 5th or 6th round.
Was this Xavier Leggett guy, the guy you were talking about?
Yeah, Michael Cook did his homework.
Good job.
Xavier Leggett is a beast.
Yes.
I love Leggett. He's a dog.
Whatever he is, he's good.
LTD says, and I did the extra credit.
Ooh.
Did anything change on your opinion of what I've said?
We're not saying he's a first-round guy.
Because we know what comes with him. He's got a little baggage.
Got a little baggage.
But you know who else has a little baggage? Your head coach, who's an asshole that no one wants to work with right now.
Yeah.
What if there's two guys that can be assholes together?
Also, I'm sure a lot of us look back at when we were 22 years old and probably look back and we're like, I was a little bit of a douchebag. I was a little bit of a tool. I think he could. I mean, who says he can't mature and grow up?
Michael Cook, I didn't see those underthrows. I saw him putting it right on the money for Xavier Leggett to go up there. What about the throw where he drops back, he's about to get tackled, and he throws it 65 yards in the air, high points the ball, and lets Leggett go get it? Patrick Mahomes with Chad Pennington's arm. All right, now you don't even know what you're talking about. There's not 20 better people in the world that can throw a football better than Spencer Rattler.
Noodle arm Rattler.
That has never been said.
Yeah.
That has never been said. As Mike G says, who is the Giants DC next year? I wish I had that answer for you.
What if Dable just takes both coordinator positions? He's like, I got it. I'll call both sides.
You know who can? Jayden Daniels.
Spencer Rattler has a better arm than Jayden Daniels.
A lot more to play in the quarterback position than the arm. We know that.
Yeah.
But if you saw those two guys throw side by side, Rattler sucks.
Rattler's got a terrible reputation right now. Michael Cook, he did. I think that was the biggest praise I've ever heard anybody have for another coach. Ceiling is like Jimmy G. There couldn't be more opposite quarterbacks.
I don't understand if you guys know who Spencer Rattler is. Jimmy G? The guy who could barely throw the ball 40 yards?
I think Marsh has a better arm than Jimmy G right now.
I don't know. It's just my opinion. Is Jimmy G a number one overall recruit? I don't think he was. Daniels has a much better arm than Rattler? I don't agree with that. Why would I push a narrative for clicks for Spencer Rattler? I haven't even put him in a title in a video. Come on, William Lano. Don't be disrespectful now.
Come on, man.
You're my guy. That's a little much. Bush Kid. Appreciate it. Marsh, I'm not saying this because I was born a Giant, but all these other chat sports channels sucking. That Vikings channel sucks.
Yeah, I would not tune into the Vikings channel at all. Even though I did hear the Vikings channel is going to start going live on Wednesdays during the offseason.
Really?
It would be a bad idea if some Giants fans came and supported the show. Bad idea.
All I'm saying is Spencer Rattler breed out a true freshman in Caleb Williams in camp. Why would that ever happen?
Oh, yeah. Terrible for him that he got benched midway through the year for a generational prospect.
I don't need you guys to believe in me. I don't need you guys, and that's fine. My eyes tell me that he has an NFL arm and a top 20, 15 NFL arm in the world. That's just my take. Everyone's allowed to do their own evaluations. That's what I love about this. But for me, have I watched Jayden Daniels run? Yeah, I have. I think he's kind of slow.
Not slow, but not Lamar.
He ain't Lamar Jackson.
No, Lamar was like.
He ain't Lamar Jackson fast.
Yeah. Rattler is not.
My muted growl says I'm an anti-albino guy. Okay, that's fair. If that's your stance, that's fair.
If that's why you aren't going to draft him.
LTD, it's not even close who has a better arm between Daniel Jones and Spencer Rattler. It ain't even close.
It's not even close.
My man, Daniel Jones hasn't overthrown somebody in his life.
Yeah. Rattler was also playing behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league, or in college football last year.
Rattler can't play day games.
All right, so he can't play day games. He's an albino. Can't draft him.
I love you guys. I hope you know that. I love you. I mean, you guys act act like I've said he's an undoubted, unquestioned first overall pick going to walk in and be a franchise quarterback.
I like this though. It's a little barbershop talk, with you guys. I don't want you guys just, oh yeah, we agree with everything you guys say. Yeah, like we get it.
Developmental QB is all I said. If I'm going to take a developmental QB, I want a guy that has some traits. And he's got traits.
He's got all types of traits.
He's got traits.
John Giants. Good segue.
John Giants. What if we get a QB in free agency and who? Well, John Giants, we're about to get into some 2024 NFL free agency targets. There's 5 quarterbacks in the NFL free agency that I would like the Giants to look at. All right. Let's get into it. 2024 free agent targets. As Isaiah Hartenstein is officially listed as questionable for tomorrow versus Nets due to left Achilles
I am going to do it, Rob.
tendinopathy. I don't know what that is. Doesn't sound good, though.
Family's allowed to disagree. Motherfucker.
Mikey, what I would say is they've missed on offensive linemen, but they've also had a terrible offensive line coach. You need an offensive line coach to develop these guys. Can't be scared to shoot. All right, let's do it. Free agency targets. New York Giants 2024 NFL free agent targets is the topic of today's show. Excuse me. Actually, it's I don't want to cough in that. All right. He's going to do it right here. '24 NFL free agency targets is the topic for discussion on today's show. As you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. The Giants have multiple needs on this football team, but you always want to be a little bit aware, and I would say cognizant, of overspending in free agency. Saw it with Dave Gettleman, and we saw it with Jerry Reese. 9 times out of 10, you're overpaying for a player in free agency. That's why they're leaving their current team. Well, per Over the Cap, one of the best salary cap sites in the game, the Giants have $22 million in cap space. I've seen that number be floated from 22 to 35. So I'm going to go with Over the Cap. In my opinion, they're the best in the game. They said $22 million in cap space. Well, the Giants can save $5.6 million if they cut Mark Lewinsky. And I believe Mark Lewinsky will be cut by the Giants. Let's give the Giants about $27, $28 million in cap space. Also, the Giants can create almost another $30 million in cap space very, very easily. The Giants can restructure Andrew Thomas, and they can also restructure Dexter Lawrence. Restructuring Andrew Thomas saves $14 million this year. Restructuring Dexter Lawrence saves about $11.5 million. So that's $25 million plus the $6 million from Mark Lewinsky. That's 31 plus the 22. You got 53 potentially $1 million in free agency if you do want to restructure Andrew Thomas and Dexter Lawrence. Who are you spending that money on, though? Well, in my opinion, you could look at a quarterback. You need more offensive playmakers. You need more of these guys. You also need offensive linemen. You also need edge rushers. And I think you could also benefit from signing a veteran cornerback. I do think the Giants most likely will sign a veteran quarterback in free agency. We do not know if Daniel Jones will be ready to go in week 1. If he is not ready to go, there's going to have to be somebody to step in. And I just don't believe the Giants, and I could be wrong. I hope they're wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I don't see the Giants drafting a quarterback that will be ready to go in the early part of the season. So, who are some guys? I think Tyrod Taylor is obviously a name. He's been here. He's done that. He knows the system. But personally, I don't think Tyrod Taylor wants to play for the New York Giants anymore. He was benched by Tommy DeVito, and that was a terrible, terrible decision. Jacoby Brissett, he's a veteran, and he's been able to step in and win some games. I'm a fan of Jacoby Brissett. Would be fine with that. Ryan Tannehill could be on the move. New GM, a new head coach there in Tennessee. They could be looking to roll with one of their younger QBs. Sam Darnold, I've always been somewhat of a fan of his, and I think that he could be a spot starter for the Giants at times. Jameis Winston, love him, 30 for 30. That dude's going to drop back, and he's going to throw. At the end of the day, the Giants probably need to invest in a veteran quarterback. I think there was 20 teams this year that had to have their their backup quarterback start games for them. But I would rather just draft a QB in the mid-rounds, bring back DeVito, and if Jones is not ready to go week 1 or week 2, you play Tommy DeVito. You don't have the most cap space. I would like to spend it elsewhere. And a spot that I'm cool with spending it is on the outside, on offense, wide receiver. The Giants need an alpha. They need a number 1 wide receiver. They need a guy that gives them a competitive advantage on the outside. Unless your name is Patrick Mahomes, you're probably not going to win a lot of games without good wide receivers. Look at the San Francisco 49ers, all the weapons they got. Amon-Ra St. Brown, look at the weapons they got. Baltimore, they've got weapons everywhere. And here are some of the top free agents coming out this spring. Tee Higgins, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, Darnell Mooney, Gabriel Davis, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Boyd, and Curtis Samuel. Those are the top 10 wide receivers, according to Pro Football Focus, that are going to be free agents. For me, the guy that I would go after is Calvin Ridley. I'm a big fan of Calvin Ridley. I think if Joe Schoen could create a wide receiver for the type of guy he wants based off what he has told the media, it is Calvin Ridley. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He's an elite route runner. He's a separator. And he's also someone that gets north and south of the football, a.k.a. a generator with the ball in his hands. Calvin Ridley, prior to his suspension, was a top 5 receiver in this league. The dude had 90 grabs for almost 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns with 15.3 yards per catch. This past year, he was also good for Jacksonville. 76 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns, 13.4 yards per catch. Giants need someone that could stretch the field. He could do that. I would be very happy if they sign him. Thing is, I think Jacksonville may apply the franchise tag, and he may not be able to hit free agency. Let's say he does, though. Let's say Calvin Ridley is a free agent. Should the Giants sign him? Let me know what you think. Should the Giants sign Calvin Ridley? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Money's got to be right, no doubt about it. But if I had to pay any big money for any of the wide receivers in free agency, I would take a look at Ridley. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Coming up next, we'll look at the offensive line. We're looking at guard free agent targets. We've also got players off the edge that can get after the pass that we're going to talk about. And there's one veteran cornerback that I am interested in the Giants inquiring about his services. But first, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Factor. Go to factormeals.com/GiantsChat50, promo code GiantsChat50, and get 50% off. Factor, it is awesome and it is affordable, and you can also save 50% off. Fresh, never frozen, chef-prepared, dietitian-approved meals that are ready to eat in just 2 minutes. If you're looking for keto, low-calorie, high-protein, vegan or veggie meal options for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Factor is the place for you. You get to pick your pre-made meals, which are prepped and cooked to perfection. You just heat them up, you eat them, and you enjoy them. That's factormeals.com/GiantsChat50, promo code GiantsChat50, save 50% off. All right, Joe Schoen. In year 1, your job was to fix the offensive line. You did not do it. It is now year 3 of you being the general manager of this football team. You still have the biggest problem on your desk that was there the day you got hired. Invest in your offensive line. If you don't do anything else this offseason, do this. Pay one of these 10 guys some money in free agency. These are the top interior offensive linemen in order, according to Pro Football Focus. Kevin Dotson of the Los Angeles Rams. Robert Hunt of the Miami Dolphins. Kevin Zeitler. Name sounds familiar. Remember the Giants cut him to go pay some guy that never scored a touchdown for us? Connor Williams, interior offensive lineman. Dalton Reisner for the Vikings. Urza Cleveland came into the league as a tackle, switched to guard, and now he's really good. I like the versatility that he brings. Damian Lewis, John Runyon, Jonah Jackson, and John Simpson. The Giants have to sign one of these guys. if you come out of free agency and you don't sign one of these 10 guys, you really didn't try. You really didn't. And if I had to say who I would want that guy to be, it's Robert Hunt, the interior offensive lineman from the Miami Dolphins. He's been good every year of his career. Every year. Allowed just 1 sack this year. The dude allowed 5 QB pressures the entire season. The Giants had quarterbacks sacked 85 times this year. He's a good player. And I also think the Giants need a veteran guard. Maybe they need 2. Can you get Hunt and Urza Cleveland? Urza Cleveland would be awesome. With a young center and a young right tackle, and maybe it's a new young right tackle, you need guys that makes their life easy. And those are veteran guards that perform at a high level. The Giants have to pay an offensive lineman this free agency cycle. I would also like to see them go out and get an edge rusher. Now, I don't know if they do, but these are the top guys according to Pro Football Focus. Josh Allen, Brian Burns, Daniil Hunter, Bryce Huff, Chase Young, Jonathan Greenard, Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, Josh Uche, and Leonard Floyd. I would love to get Daniil Hunter. The Giants going to pay him $100 million. I would love to get Josh Allen. Are the Giants going to pay him $100 million? I don't know. So let's look at tier 2 guys. 2 guys that stand out to me are Bryce Huff, the edge rusher for the New York Jets, as well as Leonard Floyd, the veteran that has bounced around a couple of spots. Leonard Floyd had 10.5 sacks this year. He had 9 sacks the year before that, 10 sacks the year before that. All the dude does is get 10 sacks a season. Bryce Huff, he came onto the scene this year for the Jets. 10 sacks, has a pass rush win rate at one of the highest levels in the NFL. He hasn't played all that much, still had 10 sacks. You need one of these guys. If you can get one of these guys, I'd be very happy. Which one? I don't necessarily have a preference. Floyd is older than Huff. Huff may have more untapped potential, but he's proven that he can do it in multiple spots for multiple teams for multiple years. Let me know which one of these guys you would rather the New York Giants sign. At cornerback, I don't think the Giants are going to spend big money on a guy. So I'm looking at a veteran like Sean Murphy-Bunting. I've always been a fan of Murphy-Bunting's game. He's a player that I feel like is a little bit underrated. I know the Pro Football Focus numbers are not all that kind to him, but I do like what he did for Tennessee a little bit this year. And I think he'd be a guy that you can get relatively cheap. I mean, Pro Football Focus has his contract projection as 1 year, $4 million. And that may be the type of money the Giants have to get there. I'm not really interested in bringing back Dory Jackson. I thought he kind of quit on the team in a little bit. I think signing a veteran for a 1 year deal, kind of like they did with Fabian Moreau, makes a lot of sense. Murphy-Bunting, he'd be on top of my list for a cheap veteran they could look at. We went through offensive line, receiver, edge rushers, and a corner. Name a free agent you want the Giants to sign. I want to hear from you down in the comment section. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We're going to be putting out free daily videos, free videos on the New York Giants all off season long. So subscribe and turn the notifications on. Really? Who do y'all want them to sign? Who do y'all want the Giants to sign? BH, nice initials. Pretty nice. Pretty nice. He's a hella guy in Madden, says nope. Hella guy? Hella good? Hella good? Yeah, Leonard Floyd had a really good year. Michael Cook says Urza Cleveland. Sean Murphy-Bunting. Yeah, I like him. Go all in for Josh Allen, says underline. Rob Jigga says Huff. Really, the Jets are going to let him leave? Nope says was really good in my Madden. We're about to get into some Mike Evans rumors, but also a mailbag. Also a mail get bag. Lucas Aitken says trade late round pick for Jack Conklin will only count $4 million on the cap and the kid's redundant now in Cleveland. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I actually really like that. I really like that idea, Lucas. I will talk to my Cleveland Browns report host here at Chat Sports, and I will ask him what it would cost to get Jack Conklin. That is a very good idea. Appreciate the comment. Underline says, I would say get the best O-line and D-end and draft the rest of the needs. Put some money in those trenches. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Evans would be nice. I'm just saying, says Bill. Make sure you guys do get your questions in. As the Bush Kid. $10 super chat. What up, Bush Kid? Marsh. The Detroit Lions chat channel claps like a little girl. I don't even know what that means.
Don't come after my boy Micro like
Be
that.
Be nice to Micro Mike. Channel claps like.
And then he said this.
He was mad soft for a man watching him. He should do the tennis channel. He was not an alpha at all.
Get off my boy Micro.
Bush Kid, was Micro like, was he crying because they won? I need more than the claps like a little kid. I clap a lot. I'm a clapper. What was so bad about him, Bush Kid? Let me know. As John Giant says, yo, Marsh. Yo, John Giants. Set that DM. Let's talk. Are we standing on business?
Still Dre?
Still Dre Patterson?
Still Dre?
Still Dre Patterson? John, after the show, I'll holler at you, bro.
If they actually sign him, those would be so live. Like, if he's the next DC, still Dre.
He ain't the next DC.
Two
quicks. What up? Still Dre Patterson? Nope, says we need a Seeps talk show.
He's talking about life. I think I would like that. Life by
What do y'all want to
Sports.
hear Seeps talk about in his talk show?
Do Marsh and I start like a just general pod?
Like just
Like a life pod?
talking ball,
talking
life.
Talking girlfriend analogies. You guys like those?
Giants for life. Marsh, should we sign Mike Evans despite his age? We're about to talk about it.
You in the script, bro?
Devarshi says, yo, Marsh, how about Tee Higgins? Would love Tee Higgins. But I don't know if we're paying $30 million a year for a receiver.
Yeah.
All right. We had a bunch of super chats come in today. We'll include those on our mailbag section. If you want to get your question on the show today, you're probably going to have to super chat.
Yeah.
Probably going to have to super chat.
I got a lot of questions in the chamber right now, so.
Michael Cook says Mike Evans has put up 1,000 yards every year. Yes, he has. John Giant says, what do you think about Usher's halftime show? I can't wait. Usher's that guy.
That's going to be sick.
Usher. I'm excited for it. Do you think he brings out any cool guests?
I bet you, yeah. Usher definitely is. I feel like he has to.
Confessions would be crazy.
That'd be sick.
Oh, man. All right, let's talk about it. Hashtag, no hashtag Giants.
Nope.
Super chat to get on today's show. According to Bleacher Report, the New York Giants are a top 5 destination for Mike Evans in free agency. We go back to the rumors prior to the season where the Giants were linked as a Mike Evans trade destination. Let's kind of just catch you up on the story as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I'm your host, Marshall Green. If you haven't yet, please hit that thumbs up icon. Mike Evans and the Tampa Bay Bucks were unable to come to a contract extension prior to the year starting. And Mike Evans said, I don't remember the date, he said, if we don't get a deal done prior to week 1, we will not negotiate during the year, and I will not play football for the Tampa Bay next year. Is it a threat? I don't know what it is. But I'm not so sure that he is going to be back with the Tampa Bay Bucks. The question is, though, should the New York Giants go out and pay big-time money for a wide receiver like Mike Evans, who will be 31 years old when the season starts, who Mike Evans has never played in the NFL and not had less than 1,000 yards. Well, this is what Bleacher Report had to say about it. Evans' presence would immediately elevate the G-Men's offense to a much more respectable and well-rounded one. A much-needed change after the squad ranked an abysmal 31st in passing yards this season. The team has been able to move the ball on the ground during the Dable era. New York has put up nearly 130 rushing yards per game over the past 2 years and needs a receiver of Evans' caliber to take this unit to the next level. And I agree with a lot of what Bleacher Report had to say. Mike Evans is one of the best to ever do it at the wide receiver position. There is a reason he is going to have a gold jacket and a bust in Canton, Ohio. And he's great. I mean, look at the stats. 13 TDs this year. 1,300 yards almost. 6 TDs last year. Over 1,100. 14 TDs the year before that. Over 1,000. And then in 2020, he had 70 receptions for almost 1,100 yards or just over 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's great. He's really good. But he's 31. And I think his best days are behind him. And I know I always tell you guys this. You can't be scared. Scared money don't make money. You can't be scared to go draft another tackle in the top 10 because it didn't work out for Evan Neal. But I'll be honest with you. I can't shake the Kenny Golladay trauma. I can't shake it off. I think and it's disrespectful to Mike Evans to even put him in the same note, in the same book, in the same sentence, in the same light as Kenny Golladay. But a 31-year-old receiver whose best days are behind him and coming to a new team and a new organization with shaky QB play and shaky O-line play. I say all that to say the Giants do need a wide receiver one. The Giants do need a game changer on the outside. The Giants do need a special player at their first receiver spot. And Mike Evans would fit that bill. But for how long? For how long? 31 years old. Is he good until he's 34? Is he good until he's 33? Are the Giants and Mike Evans away from competing? Or does using that money to go sign an offensive lineman and an edge rusher more worthwhile? I'll ask you, should the Giants sign Mike Evans? Type best for sign, type P for pass. I'm going to say pass on this one. I'm going to say pass. I think he's going to end up a Houston Texan. That's my prediction. I do know this. If a move does happen, the Giants sign Mike Evans. If the Giants do anything this offseason, we're going to break it down on this channel. So subscribe for free videos every day. Underline with a $5 super chat. What up, man? Play Daniel Jones the first 8 games of the season to boost his trade value and hope we can get the 3rd pick for him next year's trade deadline. I don't think anyone's giving up anything of value for Daniel Jones, to be honest with you. In a large part to do that is they don't want to inherit that contract he's on right now. I don't think that there's much trade juice for Daniel Jones. Also, trading Daniel Jones kind of gives the Giants a lot of dead cap money. Hope we can get a 3rd pick. I don't think you're getting a 3rd-round pick for Daniel Jones. I don't. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But underline, I don't think he has trade value, and I don't think you're getting a 3rd-round pick for him. I don't think Daniel Jones will be traded. The next time in the transaction log that you see Daniel Jones will be following the 2024 season where he is cut by the New York Giants and will carry a $22 million cap hit for 2025. We'll get to more questions coming up in a second, but first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS, and PrizePicks will match your initial deposit up to $100. PrizePicks is daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is create a lineup of 2 to 6 players, and you simply choose more or less on their projected stat line. NFL, NBA, college basketball, and so much more that you could play PrizePicks right now. I'll put all that information clickable down in the comments and description. If you're going to play daily fantasy sports, do it with our proud sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Chris Blades, what's good, man? Appreciate the super chat. Trade Barkley for Diggs and grab Jayden Daniels. The Bills aren't trading Stephon Diggs. I don't want to say never, but I just don't think that it happens. $31 million dead cap hit if they trade him. The Buffalo Bills have a $31 million cap hit if they trade him pre-June 1 and $8 million cap hit if it's a post-June 1. But then you'd have an $8 million cap this year, next year, year after, and after that. I don't think the Bills are trading. I don't. Do we want Stephon Diggs? Seems kind of like a drama queen to me. And he's 30. Let's get a guy that's going like this instead of a guy that's going like this. A young buck. And they have Cook, the running back. I don't think they want Saquon Barkley. Jaquicks, my man. What's up? Do you think we will sign Hollywood Brown in free agency? No. I want nothing to do with Hollywood Brown. You have Hollywood Brown at home. His name is Jalen Hyatt. Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't need Hollywood Brown. Rich Rob, or Rob Rod, my man. Trade up to number 1. Franchise QBs are not falling from the sky often. Trade Barkley and Jones for another weapon and go back to Earth, Wind, and Fire days of Jacobs, Bradshaw, and Ward. I would love to trade up to number 1. That is my job. That is what I want to do. I want the Giants to trade up to number 1 and get Caleb Williams. I don't care what it costs. Because you don't have anything in this league until you have your franchise quarterback. And he is that guy. He's a franchise changer. He uplifts your franchise. I would do whatever it takes. Bobby Alexander, a.k.a. Rob Rod. Absolutely. $50 super chat. That's big time. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting this channel. Let's go Giants. What if we draft Joe Alt and get a weapon for DJ, and we get a pass rusher next to Kayvon like Danielle Hunter, and get Cooper Beebe and Xavier Worthy in the second round? So draft Joe Alt, sign Calvin Ridley, sign Danielle Hunter, and get Cooper Beebe and Xavier Worthy? Sign me up, but I don't know how likely that is. I don't see the Giants spending big-time money on a receiver and an edge rusher and an offensive lineman. And if I could only spend money on one of those positions, it's O-line. It's been neglected for far too long. Go get an offensive lineman. John Giants, trade to 3, get Daniels or MH. Can I get a shout-out? Shout-out to John Giants. The only way I'm trading up in this draft is to select Caleb Williams or Drake May. I don't want to trade up for Jayden Daniels. And I don't want to trade up for Marvin Harrison. And it's no disrespect to those players. Those guys are going to be good in this league. I'm just not trading up for anyone but those two guys. Jaquicks, back again. Marsh, we need a wide receiver to actually break 1,000 yards, break 1,000-yard season. Haven't done that in a while. With our wide receivers, Mike Evans will help. He would absolutely help. He would come in and be a stud. But I don't think you're getting Mike Evans and a lineman. And Mike Evans and an edge. Like, Mike Evans is probably going to want 3 years, $80 million. 3 years, $85 million. 2 years, $50 million. And also, I bet he probably wants to go to a contender. And just some rumors that I've heard. Rumors I've heard. He may be a Texan. From Galveston, Texas. 30 minutes shy of Houston. Went to Texas A&M. Supposedly he loves C.J. Stroud, and he may want to end his career in Texas. Just what I've heard. Bush Kid, Jaquan Jackson. Let's make this happen. Oh, speedster from Tulane, huh? A little punt return speedster. Hey, look, more offensive talent. I'm with it. You got to get more offensive talent on this team. What round is he being mocked in? Like second and third? Look, I'm cool with drafting another fast receiver. You got to have speed on the outside, man. And I just kind of keep going back to the games down the stretch of the season where I saw Tyrod Taylor in there. I think we actually saw the way this offense wants to operate. They want to throw that thing. If Jaquan Jackson can stretch the defense, I'm in. Mike G, who's the Giants DC next year? That's a great question. That is a great question. I don't know. I think they're waiting for Leslie Frazier to be done taking head coach interviews, and they'll interview him as a DC. I also think Sean Desai is a name to keep your eye on. Sean Desai, former finalist to be the DC before Wink Martindale was hired, just fired from Philly. I'm keeping my eyes on those two guys. on those two guys. Make sure you are subscribed to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports so you don't miss a thing all off season long. Free, informative, and entertaining, passion-driven content for free every day. Subscribe right now.
Yeah, I looked up that Jaquan Jackson guy. I saw he had a punt return versus USA. Dude can fly.
Speedster, dude.
Speedster. People are saying his low 40 time could be like a 4.3.
A spedster.
A speedster.
That dude is fast. All righty.
Oh,
Oh!
I love this.
As LTD. My man, $20 super chat. Did the homework. That's why we love you.
Thank you.
That's why we love you. And he did extra credit. To me, it seems like Rattler got benched because of the yips. If so, he proved to have gotten over it, and his draft stock will rise between now and the draft. Number 1, Alt. Number 2, Rattler. 3, Leggett. If you walk away with Joe Alt, Leggett, and Spencer Rattler, woo!
Throw a little Cooper BB in the second,
Oh,
too.
Cooper BB. I'm for real about Leggett or Leggett, whatever his name is. That dude's also good, LTD.
Yeah.
I know if you watch the tape, like you said, you did. That guy pops off the screen.
He pops, man.
Big, strong, fast, high point, can get vertical, can dance with it, eats up yards after the catch.
We're just trying to inform you guys of these hidden gems.
John the Goat says, are the Giants getting Justin Jefferson? The last video I saw. There's rumors out there that the Vikings may look to trade him. I don't think the Giants would be interested.
There are rumors.
Rumors, that's fair.
Rumors. No, there.
I mean, from the longest tenured Vikings beat reporters from the Pioneer Press.
From the Donkey Daily.
Is that what it's called?
No, it's Pioneer Press. No, I mean there are rumors about Jefferson getting dealt. So
Spencer Rattler, Cooper BB, Joe Alt, Seeps gets a producer and girlfriend. Then we eating good.
We're eating nope.
I'm dead. That's Mr. Rick.
Look at the dog.
For some reason, it says this is your 20th Supers Chat on a live stream. I
YouTube's-
know for a fact you have Super Chatted more than 20 times. How many accounts do you have? That may be why.
True. YouTube's bugging with that lately, though.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. Mr. Rick, thank you, sir. And I got that Allie Barefoot girl your hat. I told her. So get him a Giants hat. Don't get him a cheap one. Because he's got all the good ones. He knows what a good one is. LTD says Leggett was half of Rattler's highlights. It was.
Yeah, seriously.
It was. Do you think it was Daniel Jones' idea to raise season ticket prices just to aggravate?
Is that the next video, Mr. Rick? Did Daniel Jones raise the ticket prices?
The audacity of a football team that is once again picking inside the top 6 to raise their ticket prices.
Yeah, it is. That is wild.
Parking passes by 20%? 20%? 25%.
That's a joke.
Mr. Rick, they may only give you a calendar this year for the football months. Well, they already do that. They already give you a half a calendar.
What was Mr. Rick, the one like Pepsi story had me, that was like my favorite one. It was like they only had like
Fan Appreciation Day, they gave every season ticket holder he'll say it in the chat, I believe a medium Pepsi.
A medium Pepsi.
Not a large, and it wasn't for all your tickets. You got one
yeah,
per.
it was one per. Yeah. A
One
medium Pepsi.
What up, Jay Liv? Appreciate you stopping by, bro.
Because if they gave a large Pepsi, it was pushing the Giants.
No
over the
way
books.
you could give them a souvenir cup and give a refills.
No,
or everybody that comes to the game gets a Pepsi. They are sponsored by Pepsi. John Mayer, you have let this organization down so bad. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That's hilarious.
Get Joe Alton, let's go.
That's it. All that 6 and we ride.
Mr. Rick, we haven't talked about it. Who do you want the Giants to draft, Mr. Rick? 6 overall. What do you want the Giants to do, Mr. Rick? What do you mean by Coke is still bad? No, I'm kidding. Rob Jigga, what up, Brody? Michael Cook says Daniels at 6. I was once a part of that wave.
Yeah. Just think Daniels maybe an Instagram comment pick. Like, everybody would love Jayden Daniels at 6. Everybody would be going crazy.
A+ grade.
A+++++.
Charles says 1 Pepsi for only the season ticket holder of record, and you had to show ID.
You had to show ID to get the Pepsi. They had to make sure no free Pepsis were out there.
No.
What a joke.
LTD says Daniels won't be there at 6. I don't think he does either. I think the first 3 picks of the draft are quarterbacks because I think that the Cardinals are going to trade. Wait, Cardinals pick 3rd or 4th?
3rd.
Oh, yeah. First 3 picks will be quarterbacks.
Yeah, unless they just say, we'll give Kyler Marvin Harrison. We don't care.
Well, they're picking 4th.
Oh, Patriots at 3rd.
Patriots are taking a quarterback. Washington's taking a quarterback. Bears are taking
Shit, the Cardinals are hoping that happens.
I don't think the Giants will have to make a decision on Jayden Daniels at 6.
No.
There's Micah Gibson. What up, Micah? Pick 71 for Trey Smith, starting right guard. Why would they trade him, though?
Yeah.
Why would they trade him? They've got a quarterback that's pretty good that they want to protect.
Plus, I'm sure Mahomes wouldn't be too happy about that.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are in the business of keeping good offensive linemen rather than trading them. Trey Smith is still young, no doubt about it. I would love for this trade to happen. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
Chargers are also sitting pretty at that 5 spot. There you go, Bowers or either one of the receivers.
Rob says, can I ask to any season ticket holders in here any mention of a draft day party this year at Giant Stadium? I have not heard anything. I believe there will be, though. I think we're a little bit far away for them to have that set, though. Shout out to everybody in the building. We appreciate you guys. Our live shows have been awesome the last 3 weeks. It's because of you guys. You guys show love. You show up. You show out. You engage in the chat. You like the video. And that's why these videos are getting thousands and thousands and thousands and 10,000s of views once we get off live. Charles says stream went down for me. Yikes, that's on us. I asked, who did you want? Who do you want the Giants to pick at 6, Mr. Rick? You're usually right. You're usually right. Mr. Rick. Once we get the answer from Mr. Rick, we're going to sign off on today's show. Shout out to you guys. Y'all are the best. Rob said, where's Gilly? Gilly got big time on Twitter.
Oh,
he doesn't come around these streets anymore.
It's too big for us.
I'm kind of joking, though. All righty. We're going to sign off. We're going to go home. It's been a long day for us at the Chat Sports Studios. We appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you.
Love y'all. Awesome audience again today. You guys are the best. We'll see you later. Let's go, Big Blue.